So in this today's session, we'll just quickly have a look at what is ethical imperatives. We'll have a quick glance about Agile AI, pivotal roles, dilemmas, imperatives, and takeaways. Trust me, the way words it is sounding heavy, topic is very easy. Okay, quickly. Now when we say ethical imperatives, what comes to your mind? Interesting, somebody say something, yeah. Great, okay. Anything else? Any more insights? Okay. So somebody mentioned that doing right things. What is the right thing to do? Sorry, ma'am. Okay, very interesting. Okay. Very good. Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah. So when we say what is the right thing, it is nothing but are we having those crucial ethical considerations? Okay. In a very, very simple language, are we doing right things because it's the right thing to do? So our behaviors, our considerations, our acts, everything is in a right alignment because morally it is a right thing to do. Okay? Now let's try to deep dive into that what exactly those ethical imperatives. Now, before we deep dive into those ethical imperatives, let me just have a quick glance about when we are talking about Agile and AI. So we all know that what kind of a benefits Agile way of working they are bringing. Okay? Any quick hands up or sharing that when you all are Agile practitioners, right? So when you are trying to implement those Agile way of or embracing those Agile way of working, what kind of a benefits you are getting? You are getting? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh. Thank you. Anybody else? Great. Thank you. Yes. Continuous improvement. Yes. Good. Thank you. Yes. So when it comes to the agile way of working, we all know that it is the principles they are fostering is like adaptability, as ma'am said, customer centricity and iterative development, right? So when it comes to the AI, what AI offers us? Anything else? Mm-hmm. Very true. Great. So we all know that when it comes to the AI, AI is offering us automation, predictive insights, efficiency gains. And we all know that these are some of the tools like ChatGPT, machine learning, and chatbots, right? So chatbot is definitely it's like a virtual assistant for us who is helping. Machine learning, it is helping us to identify the patterns, right? When we are typing on our phones definitely know that what kind of a typing we are doing, right? So all these pattern recognition and everything is coming from all these tools. So if AI is like a digital brain, then these machine learning, natural language processing, all these are nothing but these are their superpowers, right? Now, we all know that my agile way of working is giving me some or offering me some benefits. At the same time, agile is offering their benefits. How the situation will look like if we will try to embrace best of the both worlds. Sounds very ideal situation, right? Am I taking benefits from the agile way of working as well as I'm taking benefits from the AI also? So let's see, how can we embrace the benefits of both? At the same time, there are some crucial considerations which will definitely help me. Okay? Before that, it sounds really interesting that I'm going to get the benefit. But there are few roles which definitely plays a very vital role to embrace these benefits. Okay? Who can be those roles? Any clue? How many roles are there in our professional life? Hmm? Okay, how many of you are here playing a role of Scrum Master? Quick hands. Very interesting. How many are there who are very creative brains, developer engineers? Wow. Who are the customer voices, CEO of the product, product owners? My God, I'm blessed with such a great cohort, na? All creative brains are together. Okay, so good news is that all of you have a role to play here. Okay, so we all know that in our agile teams there are pivotal roles. So when I say pivotal roles, those are nothing but these are the critical pivotal roles who are acting as a bridge between the leadership as well as the team member, right? So development team, product owner, transformation catalyst. Again, transformation catalyst when I'm saying, Scrum Masters will say, oh, is that not? I'm not playing the role. Yes, you are there. Coaches are there. Your senior leaders are there. But I'm not targeting very specific roles. What I'm trying to point out here is these are the very critical and crucial pivotal roles which are definitely going to play an important role and important accountability when we are trying to embrace the benefits of the both the world. Okay? So, these all roles are going to help me. So far, all are with me? Great. Now, let's try to understand. We're talking a lot about that ethical, and we all have agreed that we all know that ethical is nothing but right things to do. What kind of a ethic, from your experience or from your insights, what you feel that what are those ethical dilemmas encounter when you are working in the teams? Any situations comes to your minds? Okay. Hmm. 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 Okay. So how will you like to connect it? Where is the exactly dilemma is coming? Ethical dilemma I'm talking about. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So already I have invested my lots of efforts. Now I have to scrap it. Right? Okay. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Anybody else?
Yeah, how much you need to actually estimate, right? Those kind of things, and because you have to tell the team and also like talk to the team. So that's one of the dilemma. Yep.
Okay. So is it safe to say that, okay, it's amongst trust between the team members that, okay, sir is taking 5 point story points for one work and you are taking 1 point. So how can we establish that trust?
Not really about trust, but
Hmm.
I'm like saying, like sometimes it's completely unknown, right? You
Hmm.
don't know that territory at all, and then you somehow need to estimate, right? So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Do you want to repeat it for others also? Just your insights.
Aligning the team efficiency
Uh,
because not everyone's throughput is the same way they work and how efficient they are. in the same category.
Okay. Anybody else wanted to add in? Yes, yes, please. Wow. Wow, very beautiful point. And probably I was trying to connect those dots. But yeah, thank you so much for this. Okay, great. So thank you once again. So ethical dilemmas comes when the so potential areas where it comes is like how we are trying to bring the transparency, how we are trying to where we are trying to bring the accountability, how the decision making is happening, the way we mentioned estimation, how the decision making is happening. Now I am as a developer, if I'm trying to give estimate, okay, 2 days will happen, I'm really ethical about it because somewhere in the mind I know that 1 day buffer, yeah, this is something I'm keeping. Okay, now when you want this user story, 3 days to lagega hi lagega, right? Actually, we also know that that's not the reality. If I will sit and have a focus work, I know that I will do it. But what we say, let's keep a buffer, na, right? So this is something I wanted to tell that these are the areas exactly where these dilemmas come. Now we all know this, but something is like how we are going to bring it. Now, how as a team members we are going to hold ourselves as well as our peers responsible to address these ethical dilemmas, right? So what can be responsibilities is like we have to really understand that ethical responsibilities of each and every man in promoting fairness, inclusive and sustainable practices. Okay? Now, just taking a moment. Are we on time? Okay, great, thanks. Yeah. So now we'll just quickly deep dive into understanding that first of all, let's understand which are those imperatives which we can consider in case of agile way of, our agile way of working, which are those areas or which are those imperatives we have to consider. Okay? The first and foremost factor comes into picture is like transparency and trust. Right? Are we really inculcating transparency and trust within the team? When I say transparency, let's imagine all of us are getting an opportunity to develop AI tools, okay, in our regular way. So when transparency comes into picture, let's see that am I using right kind of a data, right source of information, right? So that is where the transparency comes. Trust. Okay? Am I being transparent with my team members that what kind of a data using and is it a right kind of data we are using? Okay? Few months back, I believe many of us have come across the news, okay? Deep fake related issue, right? Everybody can relate it. Why we think what this could have happened? And we all know that why it happened, right? So do you think that if those ethical imperatives we have considered, it could have been taken care, right? Now there are lots of, in fact, regulations and everything are happening to avoid that. But if we wanted to avoid such kind of issues, certainly this imperative plays a very vital role. Okay? So transparency and trust is the one of the imperative which really needs to be taken. So why? So about data usage and communicating why we are using and how we are using, right? If I'm using this data, we will again deep dive and understand with the examples also that which are some of kind of areas. Okay, so while making the decision making, am I using a right kind of data and how am I using it? Okay, so that imperative we'll have to consider. The second thing is accountability, right? When it comes to the accountability, do we have any accountable role who ensures that these imperatives are taken care or not, right? For example, and it can happen many different ways, okay? For example, in our team itself, you can decide, okay, I will appoint you as a AI accountable person or AI officer, who ensures that whenever in the development phase, my teams are using right kind of sources information, are they using in a right way? Do we have a consent from the users or not? Right? So we have to ensure that in case of accountability, are we good or not? So we are having any kind of a of officer or role who is taking care of that. How part we will leave that, but accountability is the area where definitely we have to ensure. So clarity on the roles and responsibilities and responsibility of monitoring, auditing and explaining why we are taking those AI decisions. What could be the third? Any guesses? Biasness. Does it happen? Are we being fair while collecting the right kind of data? That is very important, right? So, when it comes to the biasness, okay, are we actively identifying and mitigating those biasness of the data? The next comes is like continuously learning. Just imagine if we have any kind of a AI tool develop and whatever kind of a information or data data set we are providing, if that is not upgraded, will we use that AI tool? No, right? वही information देता है, छोड़ दो, right? So we have to continuously ensure that are we providing upgraded new experience data, and that's what we call it, right? Incremental learning, empiricism. So our data set also has to be evolved accordingly. So continuous learning, data ethics, right data, correct data, reliability, quality, it has to be there. So that foundation we have to ensure. So that's the reason this becomes an imperative. Security, again connecting back to the deepfake issue. So whatever data we are providing, is it secure? Have we connected the impact of that assessment? Right? It finds very nice, right? I mean, we all know that there are lots of applications are coming. You go for a PowerPoint presentation, there are lots of happening. But if all those applications consider security and impact, certainly it is like a customer-friendly application, right? So security and impact assessment is very, very important things. Like for example, do we have those guardrails that whatever data we are incorporating, is it not affecting on our system? User feedback and consent. Do we have consent? Let's imagine we are working on any healthcare applications or banking applications. What first important is, are we keeping that user confidentiality, right? And the more, if you remember, whenever even we are filling the forms, right? We are taking that consent form. My data is confidential. Your data will be kept confidential. So that's what we have to consider. That becomes again a very important ethical factor. And last not but the least, explainability. Just because AI is a now buzzword, it's not like that, right? Why we are taking this? Why we are building this application? Why we are taking into consideration? So we should be able to explain that to our stakeholders. Just imagine if we are trying to build an application, we should be able to explain stakeholders, right? Why should we invest in that? What is the outcome? What is the value we are trying to get? So that explainability has to be there. So far, with me? Connecting? Agree? Wow, thank you. Now let's understand. Now, if we are considering this, what are the takeaways I will get? I will build synergy between AI and Agile, right? Just imagine I'm trying to build a virtual assistant tool. Okay? So what will happen if I'm trying to build a virtual assistant tool? I will bring Agile practices as well as AI also. So definitely I will bring the benefits of both the world. Anything differently you feel? Okay, let's imagine I'm trying to build an application for customer support. Okay? If anybody has already experience about the customer support, what will happen if I'll try to implement AI in this? will able to understand that what kind of a continuous queries we are getting, repetitive queries, right? If we're able to understand those repetitive queries pattern, do you think it will be beneficial to build that? The moment I will give that kind of a information to AI tool, obviously my handling those repetitive tasks will be addressed because my company has a face recognition, right? But while building all those things, am I considering different skin tones? Am I considering different personalities? That's also equally important. So I'm not only considering diverse, I would say inputs, but at the same time, I'm trying to having those user-centric approach also, right? And at the same time, continuous learning. So when I say continuous learning, just now I said that version 1, just 2 minutes. So version 1 has been reduced, but at the same time, I'm making sure that my data is like continuously incremental or improving based on my experience. So those data sets, algorithms are definitely getting upgraded or not. So that's also is happening, benefit I'm getting. So this is all about benefit. But all said and done, very important factor, human oversight, right? What may all say that AI is giving benefits, unless and until it is validated by a human being, it is very difficult to leverage the benefits, right? So human oversight plays a very crucial role. Okay? So now, just quickly, I'm taking to conclude this learning. First and foremost thing, a quick recap. So what we had into, why it is important that having that ethical awareness about while building those applications, having that ethical awareness is very much important. Why? Because it is going to bring transparency, security, collaboration, and I said intelligence, right? And what we can do as a practitioners is we can definitely balance AI innovations with ethical governance. And what I will get on base of that? Ethical AI in Agile, right? So we can, as an individual, I can definitely take a pledge over here. Okay, whenever tomorrow I'm going to contribute, I will ensure at least that I will follow all these ethical imperatives so that I can build a future or AI future which is with integrity and empathy. That's all about my observation. Thank you.